Hello and welcome to On My Shelf. If you're looking for a middle grade book that approaches race and racial tension in a gentle and understandable way, I have just the book for you. Black Brother by Jewel Parker Rhodes is a story about a mixed race family. It has one brother who presents as black and one brother who presents as white. And it tells the story of the differences between these two boys and the experiences that they have in school, all while framing it around fencing, which I thought was really cool. Jewel Parker Rhodes is the author of Towers Falling, which is a book about September 11th, and also Ghost Boys, which examines race in another way by marginally discussing the story of Emmett Till. Jewel Parker Rhodes has a way with words that makes racial conversations understandable for younger kids. And I love this about her work. And especially this book, Black Brother, which takes the perspective of the brother who presents as black, but also juxtaposes his experience with the brother who presents as white. And it examines racism and privilege in just a really down to earth and understandable way for younger kids. Introducing fencing into the narrative was a really interesting and effective way of showing how the main character, Dante, comes into his own power and comes of age. I thought that the fencing aspect was a very natural fit to helping him find his voice. In the narrative, Jewel Parker Rhodes also examines some pieces of social justice through the work of Dante's mom. And I absolutely love that she did this because I think it's important to conversations that kids have, learning about problems and how they can think up solutions to those problems. From the perspective of craft, there were three things that I really loved that Jewel Parker Rhodes did. And the first was her pacing. Every chapter was short, and that felt like it made things fly. It felt very verse-like to me, even though it was all written in prose, which just goes to show you that there's a fine line between prose and poetry, and I really love that about it. The second piece was characters. Rhodes had a very wide array of characters from multicultural backgrounds, and of course it's always important for young children to see their lives represented in books. And they don't just live in one place, they live in a place with a lot of different people who don't necessarily look like them or live like them. I also enjoyed the extra interest that Dante had in fencing. And I don't know much about fencing, but I thought it helped to show the character's growth throughout the story, which reminded me that when we have main characters we want to portray on a page, they should have some kind of extra interest that helps tell their story. So here are the ultimate takeaways from this book for me. The first is that books are important windows. It's really important for kids to be able to read books about characters who don't look like them or live like them or have experiences like them. And I love that these books exist, and I think that we need to continue helping them exist. And the second thing is spare prose. I think sometimes as writers, we think that we have to put so many words on a page or we have to explain things to kids. And it's not actually necessary. Kids bring a lot to the stories that they read and they can fill in the blanks. And I was reminded by the prose that Jewel Parker Rhodes used in this book that the words we don't use bring more power to the words that we actually do use. And the third takeaway is don't be afraid to broach difficult subjects. Kids are dealing with a lot of things in their lives, and sometimes we feel like we need to protect them from those things. But what I love about stories is they give kids a place to examine those things in a safe way and learn how a main character dealt with things like bullying and things like discrimination and things like not being able to properly fence and having to learn how to do that. A lot of times as writers, we think we have to protect them, and as gatekeepers, maybe we think we have to protect them, but kids are a lot smarter than we sometimes give them credit for. I don't believe it's ever too early for kids to learn that they have power and that they have worth. And that's it for today's On My Shelf. If you're interested in hearing an author's perspective on books, movies, and TV shows, subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching.